Hey everybody, Nightmare on Kelp Street here, and this video might be unedited in contrast to my other videos in the past few months or so, because I'm working on getting used to new editing software now that CapCut is shut down. I know everybody going into 2025 has heard about how TikTok and CapCut got shut down. TikTok is back up, CapCut is now not back up, and that's what I was using to edit these videos. So once I find and get used to new editing software, I'll be back editing the videos and having the images back in the videos, like the album covers and things like that. Welcome to 2025. I'm having a good one so far. I got a new job and I've been really feeling good this year, and I'm really hopeful. I made a list of goals for this year and I'm really hopeful to get to at least some of them. I'll probably get to multiple of them, which I'm really happy about. But this year, today, it is now the first day of February as I've recorded this. Now probably by the time I upload it, if I don't get it out today, it'll be out by February 2nd. And I'm going to go over what I've heard in January 2025 and then kind of do like at least one video a month, or one video wrapping up each month of things I've heard, and that'll kind of help me as I go to the end of the year and make my end of the year list, and also update the audience if I don't upload any other videos for the channel. Let them know what I've been listening to. So I wanted to make this new series, possibly like monthly wrap-ups, things like that. I was doing Friday wrap-ups, but this will help me like to give more time to listen to things I want to get to. So my top 5 of the year so far of things I've heard in January 2025. Number 1 is going to be Eusexua by FKA Twigs. This was a gorgeous, like, kind of more artsy pop album. I talked about this in a few of my other videos I've uploaded going into this year, but I would highly, highly, highly recommend watching the music video for Eusexua, because it cuts together 2 songs and really makes a really good seamless transition of both songs, The Drums of Death and Eusexua itself, the title track. So I highly suggest the music video, because it's about 7-ish, 8 minutes long, but it's really worth the watch. My second top of the year, I just finished yesterday, just came out yesterday, which is why I wanted to weigh in this video, was The Weeknd, Hurry Up Tomorrow. This was a gorgeous, if long, album. It's about an hour and a half long, but it all flows together so seamlessly. It's classic Weeknd. It has a very interesting story about him and him having a child, if I'm reading it correctly, and how it's like, he's like, I'm worried about the future and things like that, but I'm also optimistic for it, and I want it now. So I think the title Hurry Up Tomorrow is very accurate for the sound of the album and the topics of the album. I haven't really dipped up into it a lot yet, but it's a pretty classic pop Weeknd album. Some points very heavy and electronic, and a little bit of experimentation out of the second half, but the first half, pretty much the first hour, is very, very cut and dry, pretty standard for a Weeknd album, but I really love how the album flows together. Like by the 4th or 5th track, I didn't realize the tracks had changed. So that's really good for me on production side, when I don't really catch the track changes because of how seamless it flows together. My number 3 of the year so far is going to be Benjamin Booker, Lower. This is a, just like the title suggests, very low, very somber, very sad, but also punchy, like punk indie pop album. Never heard of him before, but this was a very interesting listen. I can't really think of any other ways to describe it other than that. Very interesting listen. Highly suggest if you try out the first song and the song Slow Dance at a Gay Bar. It's my big 2. My number 4 of the year is going to be Rose Gray, Louder Please. This is a pretty classic kind of electronic pop dance kind of clubby album from this woman Rose Gray, who I hadn't heard before either, but I really loved. So I love finding things that from artists I've never heard before that really surprised me in a good way. I've only heard this through once, so I can't really say much about it either, but I really liked it. It was a really good vibey, dancey album. Some really good vibey, dancey tracks. The second half gets more clubby than the first half. The first half is more just kind of typical pop songs to me. And then my number 5 of the year so far is going to be Miller Balloonerism. I did talk last year about how I feel like posthumous albums don't always hit for me, and how I feel like personally this kind of end this trend of putting out posthumous albums years and years after an artist's death. But sometimes we get some diamonds in the rough, and this was one of them. I really like this album. Even though there are 2 or 3 tracks that got a little too heavy in the topic of death for me that feel comfortable, like on a re-listen, but I still really like the album. I would say the majority of the album, I liked it. And then I already have a number 6 through 10, and these are ones that I'm more like, I'll pick out my favorites, but I'm not going to go back to the full listen soon. And that would be, I'll kind of burn through these here. Bad Bunny, I should have taken more photos, the translation of the album. A Latin pop, very energetic, very party album. Franz Ferdinand, Human Fear. Franz Ferdinand classic for the song Take Me Out. This album was great, but I would say roughly 4 or 5 tracks are my favorite cuts. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, which doesn't bode well for future listens, but I've heard it like 1.5 times. So, you know, I would recommend giving it a shot if you like classical, like more upbeat rock. It really reminds me of like the 2000s and 1990s type rock. Young Franco, it's Franky Baby. This was like a kind of like a Gorillaz amalgamation type album of bringing in a bunch of rappers and having like one guy producing it. So I was surprised to hear that I really liked this, because there wasn't a lot of the artists on the track listing I knew outside of like 1 or 2. Edward Skeletrix, Museum Music. This was one of the first album listens of the year to me, and it was a very strange one. It was very much like a kind of meta commentary on rap itself, which felt odd, but I liked it. I ended up coming out of it liking it. It was a little too heady for a casual listen, so I highly recommend if you like conscious music and if you like really heady, like albums that make you think. This is more of a rap album, like rap auto-tune electronic album that I would recommend on that. And then my number 10 of the year that I haven't finished, but I want to finish at some point when I'm in the mood, very mood-based album, is Ethel Cain's Perverts. Out of the first 2 tracks I heard, I really liked it. It's just really long songs, so it's a little bit exhausting if you're not in the mood for a longer track like that. So, or longer tracks, because basically every single track is in minimum 4 or 5 minutes. I think every track is 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure, which is pretty insane, but pretty ambitious album for like a kind of drone, ambient, very little singing when it does come in, or very long, elongated singing when it does come in, but I liked it. I liked the 2 or 3 tracks I heard, so I was going to give it a day when I'm, like, it's rainy or foggy or in the mood late at night to finish this out all in one sitting, to really appreciate it in its full for what I felt like, because it does transition together, kind of like how the Weeknd album does, kind of like how the Eusexua album does, that I wanted to give it a fair shot all the way through one night. And then I don't have a lot left to talk about this month yet, because January is usually a pretty dry month for me for it comes to newer music, of things I'm finding, people I'm tracking. But in short, to kind of also rattle off EPs I was following, there's a new Logic EP, there's a new Horsegirrl EP, who does like more hyperpop. Logic does like more rap, like pop rap. New Busta Rhymes EP, more just rap, pop rap. And newer artist I started following called Shefu, very much like girl grunge rock along that route. And then there's only one bad album I've heard this year so far, but I figured while we're here and doing my like monthly wrap-ups, I'll include it here, is Eidola Mend. And this was like a Christian rock screamo type band, type artist, type album. The cover art really drew me in. That was really beautiful. That was really cool. But after track like 3 or 4, I realized I was like, oh, this is like just a kind of basic Christian band. I don't really know how I feel about this. So I tapped out of that, and I don't think I'll be revisiting it. I think I might have finished it at some point, but the fact that I don't remember it doesn't bode well. But I wanted to say, for anyone who's watching this video and doesn't know who I am, I should have put this probably at the beginning of the video, but my name is Nightmare on Kelp Street. I regularly talk about newer albums, newer music, newer EPs, newer singles, things like that. And I'm really happy to go into 2025 with close to 100 subscribers now. So I think I'm at 80 as of recording and uploading this video. So I highly recommend, if you're following the channel and you like it and you want to kind of share around, like, you share the love of like updating people on newer music and you're liking the content so far, give this video a like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend or a family member or somebody you feel like would like want to keep up with newer music. And yeah, I know a lot of people don't put in the legwork and the research like I do to find newer music ongoingly. I really find a good thrill in it of finding an artist that I was surprised by liking, even though I didn't know them before. And that's why I kind of want to do some of these update videos, like monthly at least, of like letting the people know that follow my channel, like what I'm hearing now, even if January, February is usually a dry month for me. I came out of this month with 2 really, really good ones. I really like Eusexua, and I really like The Weeknd. And I honestly really like the Benjamin Booker album, so if you don't get anything else out of this video, I highly recommend listening to 1 of the 3 of those albums, because they really made an impact on me, where I feel like the next coming months, or even to the end of this year, I'll be going back to them and revisiting them and really loving them. I've loved FKA Twigs for years. I've liked The Weeknd for years. Not like loved him, but he has tracks I really, really like that stand out over the years. And this newer era, like the ending of his trilogy of albums, I'm really looking forward to. It's like his newer 3-step trilogy is set up in a way where it's like, After Hours was hell, Dawn FM was purgatory, and Hurry Up Tomorrow is heaven. So that's like the trilogy of albums there. So maybe eventually in the next few days I'll listen to them all in the trilogy, like in a row. You kind of finally get the final chapter of that like trilogy of like putting it all together, putting the pieces together now that we have them. But yeah, leave a comment of what you liked this month or what you're listening to now, just in general. Leave a recommendation. I'll probably get to it and cover the channel at some point because I like covering any music recommendations viewers leave me. And I hope your 2025 is going great so far. I love you, Kelpies, and I'll be seeing you probably before the end of February, or at least by the beginning of March, with another video like this at least. Possibly another video on a specific album or a specific topic if I feel like really going in depth on one. Maybe eventually I'll make a longer video on the trilogy of those Weeknd albums and kind of explain out and explore how those pieces fit together and how those all connect and how the sound of them kind of stay fluid. I feel like I'm remembering the production quality and the sound all do fit together nice, which I like. But yeah, hope you have a great 2025. I love you all, and I'll be back with another video soon. I'm sorry this one's a little shorter, but I promise to have more content out and keep you updated on what I'm listening to and what I'm liking. So I love you, Kelpies, and I hope you have a great day.